What up, everypony? Dragon Ball Brony here. Alright, I'm back with another reaction. It is a Christmas reaction. Christmas vacation is here. Christmas is right around the corner, so I might as well do this. It's a MLP fanfic reading. If Only in My Dreams by the Slorg. Sorry if I got your name wrong, and I'm sorry if I get this name wrong as well. Obabscribbler, I am subscribed to you. Please don't hate me. So if I got your name wrong, don't hate me. So yeah, let's let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. So starting the video in 3, 2, 1. Let's do this.
Ponytails. Read by Scribbler.
Hey.
If Only in My Dreams by the Slorg.
The way she said it.
It was turning out to be a very beautiful and very cold hearth-warming eve.
I respect
the
British
chill
people.
morning wind whipped the freshly fallen.
Sorry. Sorry. I respect a lot. I have a few friends that are British who live down here in America, USA. Florida. So, I have British friends, so don't think I'm being like don't think I'm being, racist against British people because I make a few comments here and there. Don't think that, because I am not like that. I am not like that. I have a few friends that are British. Don't worry. I'm not biased towards that. Bias? But I think bias was the right uh vocab for that, I think. I don't know. Time to stop being stupid. Like, honestly, I'm being stupid right now. Yeah, let's stop rambling and continue on. I'm so sorry.
Powdery snow up from the ground and set it swirling through the air in sparkling patterns. Overhead, branches that were disturbed by birds, squirrels, or other woodland creatures sent additional snow cascading down from above. All around, the grass and vegetation was either completely covered in white powder, or it shimmered with a thin coating of frost. Beneath the trees, little Rose Aphid shut her eyes against another gust of wind that whipped her pink and white mane about and took a moment to rest. Her legs were sore from walking for so long, but she'd had no choice. She was a female changeling who wasn't the queen, and that was all it took for her to be cast out of the clan. From the moment she had been deemed fit enough to travel alone, she had been sent away, and that was that. She had been given no instructions and no advice. She was completely alone. The air before her condensed into a wispy cloud as she exhaled. She was running out of time. It had been a very long time since she had felt any love, and she was so very hungry. In fact, the only act of love she could remember was when her father had cast her out of his home. To not do so would have resulted in her immediate death. This way, there was a chance, if only a small one. The wind finally died down, and Rose opened her light coral-colored eyes. They moved left and right.
I'm sorry, but you know what? That sucks, alright? Just because you're a fucking misfit. It's either leave or die. Which would you choose? Die or live? I don't know how to do the answer things there. So just write in the comments or message me on Twitter. Or whatever. That's about it. I'm rambling on, being stupid. Okay, let's do this. No, I'm sorry. All right, let's continue on. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Scanning her surroundings, hoping for some sign of life. It was now or never. She would not last another day. Seeing nothing of interest, she sat down in the snow, wrapped her tail around herself for warmth, and blinked away tears as she stared at the sky above. So this is it, she thought. Her destiny would be to...
Her voice is kind of creepy. All right, her voice is creepy. I'm sorry. All right, let's go. Let's do. Let's. Let's continue on.
Live a short life that amounted to nothing at all. In all the time she had travelled, she had held on to that last act of kindness from her father, saving it for when she would need it the most. But now, it didn't matter. There was nothing to move on to. Her journey was over. Rose sighed and watched her breath condense and swirl up into the sky. As the tiny cloud dissipated, she blinked and rubbed her eyes with the snow-covered hoof. She thought she had seen something far above in the distance. Squinting, she stood up and slowly walked forward, eyes glued to the sky. Suddenly, the clouds parted and revealed what she had seen. It could not be. She had thought it was just some made-up tale from when she was too young to travel. She had heard of the great defeat in the glittering palace in the sky, but she had never once imagined that the place could actually exist. Yet, there it was, its snow-covered spires rising proudly on the side of a tall mountain overlooking several half-frozen waterfalls. Canterlot.
Okay, let me ask you this. Where obviously you can tell my Pony OC lives in Ponyville because you can tell by the background. Honestly, tell me, where is your Pony OC at? Like Cloudsdale, Manhattan, where's the location of your Pony OC? That's about the only thing. Oh God, my nose itches. Yeah, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. All right, I'm being stupid again. Um, but yeah, obviously you can tell my Pony OC's from Ponyville. Um, just write in the comments where your Pony OC's from. You know, don't say the like if one of you say the Everfree Forest, so what? I mean, my Pony OC used to live in the Everfree Forest when he was a filly. Yeah, the reason my never mind. I'll get to that at the end. Um, I'll get to the story about my Pony OC later. Um, towards the end of the video. So let me stop being stupid and asking too many questions. Let's start this thing in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's continue. Stop being stupid. Stop rambling on. Let's do this.
If the stories were true, she would be offered no kindness from the ponies. And yet, what other choice did she have? She didn't even know if she had the energy left for a transformation, but anything would be better than dying alone. With nothing left to lose, she did the only thing left that she could do. A small burst of warm energy surged through her as she consumed the last loving memory she could remember. It was an act of desperation. Kind and loving memories didn't offer much sustenance, and, once consumed, were lost forever. Another sharp gust of wind sent the snow swirling once again. When the tree branches stopped swaying and the snow finally settled, Rose Aphid's form had changed from that of a changeling into that of a small, white-coated Pegasus filly.
Yay!
With her eyes fixed squarely on Canterlot, she shook the snow out of her mane and began her journey anew.
guys, if you want to see something and like why you can't, and like I don't have the equipment to where I can have the screen set up, to the like the corner here, or there, or there, or there, whatever. There's really nothing to watch anyway because technically, sorry, flash warning. But that is about the only thing you see the whole time. The whole time while you're watching this video, technically you're not missing anything because it's just sound effects and it's one picture repeating over and over and over again. So, you're really not missing anything. Honestly saying. Yeah. I'm being stupid again. I'm so sorry. I mean, I am smart when it comes to like schoolwork and stuff. I'm not a nerd. Honestly, I'm not a nerd because I'm not like the person that gets straight A's. I'm mostly the person that gets straight C's. Yes, straight C's. Maybe even lucky to get a B or so. Yeah. So that's technically about me when in my school. Technically know everything about me in my school life. That was nothing. That was just me being stupid. Oh god, I'm being so stupid right now. I'm so sorry. I am very, very, very sorry for this, for being stupid like this. I have a tendency to ramble on. I'm so sorry. I really am. I don't mean to be fucking annoying like this. I'm sorry. Well, let's just continue on. I'm not gonna talk through the whole thing like a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I really am. I'm so sorry. Next chapter.
I don't know. I think you've had enough for one day.
Oh, come on, Pony Joe. It's hot swarming Eve. One more hot chocolate won't hurt me any.
Pony Joe set down the mug he had been drying on his apron, leaned over the counter, and gave the old stallion a stern frown.
Yeah, well, I ain't cleaning up no mess if you go and bring it up.
Did you guys just see that? There was a power surge. That was weird.
All over this freshly mopped floor.
He waved a hoof to indicate the other patrons in the shop.
I don't see no pony else here who's gonna do it either, so you gonna call it a day or what?
Fine, fine,
the old pony conceded. He stood up and threw on a heavy jacket, then placed a small pile of bits onto the counter.
Can I maybe have one for the road? For the road is right.
A bearded patron near the back corner of the shop yelled out.
It's gonna be all over the road if he lets you have it.
A chorus of laughter arose, and even the old, hot chocolate-loving stallion joined in. There was nothing mean-spirited in any of it. Just...
God, did you hear that pony in the background with his fucking evil-ass laugh? What the fuck? Whoa! Just with his, like, fucking evil-ass laugh in the background. What the hell? Oh my... Wow! Okay, that's just... Wow! Okay. Oh, fuck. Can I ever stop being stupid? Like, literally. I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. Whatever, let's continue on.
All the friends sharing a joke.
All right,
the old stallion said. He headed toward the exit and waved over his shoulder.
Happy holidays, every pony. I'll see y'all after the break.
Have a good one, Thirsty.
Some pony called out.
Yeah, happy holidays. See you, pal.
Pony Joe said, as the old pony made his way outside. The wind brought in a few flurries in the short amount of time the door was open. It was a blustery day, that was for sure. Business usually wasn't all that great on Hearth-warming Eve. Just the regulars, really. Today, even some of them hadn't shown up. But he wouldn't have closed the shop up for anything. Sure, just about every shop in the city would be closed on Hearth-warming Day, including his own, but he saw no reason to close up early. The patrons in here were like a second family. And besides, if any pony wanted to be home on a day like today, they'd already be there. It was as simple as that. Rose Aphid's legs locked up, and she nearly slipped and fell to the ground. Before her, further up the winding, freshly shoveled dirt road, was the towering gate into Canterlot City. The gate was flanked on each side by white-coated royal guard ponies in golden armor, their demeanor stoic and alert. She wanted nothing to do with them, but flights into and out of the city were restricted, and Rose wasn't sure she could fly, even if she wanted to. If she was going to get in, she would have to face the guards. They looked just like she imagined in the stories, and while the guards themselves hadn't posed much of a threat in them, their presence here unnerved the young changeling greatly. She swallowed and marched forward on wobbly legs until she was right in front of the gate, where she stopped and slowly raised her eyes up to look at the guard closest to her. Only his eyes moved, lowering briefly to look down upon her. Then they moved back up into a straightforward position where they remained. Rose looked around for some kind of indication as to what she was supposed to do. The guard rolled his eyes and cleared his throat.
Enter.
Rose stared up at the guard, wide-eyed, her mouth slightly open. Clearly she had misheard. Nothing in her life had ever been so easy. With Rose awestruck, the guard sighed through his nostrils and gave her bottom a slight nudge with the blunt end of his spear.
Go on, kid.
He whispered.
Nothing in the city's gonna hurt you.
It's like, just with a far end of spear, move along! Get the hell out! Get the fuck in there! God, what's wrong with me? God, what's wrong with me? Okay. Oh, I'm done. Oh, what's wrong with me, man? I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, the idiot of the year. So, I'm sorry. I really am. I'm so sorry. Whatever. Let's continue. I'm being stupid.
He allowed himself a small half-smile. Somehow, Rose doubted the truth of that statement, but it was all she needed to get moving. With one last look back at the frozen wilderness far below the mountain, she stood up and slowly made her way into the city. From the moment she was inside, she was filled with wonder again. The city was far larger than she had imagined from way down below in the valley. There were buildings everywhere, and of all shapes and sizes. To one side of her was a row of wooden stands and carts arranged in a neat line, which she assumed would be full of fruit, vegetables, and other wares, had the weather been more forgiving. On her other side was a tall, thin building that looked to be carved from stone. Hanging over the door was a sign indicating that it was a bookstore. Before her, the road stretched onward, lined.
Twilight would like that bookstore. Get the joke. Alright, I'm...
on both sides with structures promising to hold even more wonders. Rose had never seen anything quite like it. When her journey had first begun, she'd come across a few small settlements, but she had been far too nervous to attempt to get any closer, thinking that she had plenty of time to find another place to feed. The little huts back home certainly couldn't compare. She stopped herself. She no longer had a home, and what memories she had of that old place were a bit hazy. As she thought about it for a moment, she realized that she couldn't remember even one good thing about her old home anyway. Clearing her head of her thoughts, she brought herself back to the task at hand. Without any further hesitation, she slowly stumbled her way deeper into Canterlot in search of sustenance.
I tell you what.
The stallion in the corner said, peering out the window and wiping hot chocolate from his beard.
I would so not want to be out there right now.
Yeah, me either.
Another patron agreed.
If I went out there, I'd have to go back home to my wife.
The shop was filled with laughter and the sound of hooves pounding on tables. Pony Joe filled another mug as he eyed the snow piling up outside on the windows.
I gotta say, I almost feel bad I gotta kick you guys out of this joint in a couple hours.
He rolled his eyes at the groans and jeers that erupted from the patrons.
Yeah, I know. Look, maybe if you all can behave yourselves, I might consider staying open a little bit longer, alright?
As predicted, the jeering turned into cheering, with ponies promising to put on their best behavior. That wasn't saying much with this lot, but he wouldn't try to change them for the world. It was going to be a late night, but the bits he'd collect would make it more than worth it. As the snow started up again and darkness began to fall over Canterlot, the bright neon signs outside Pony Joe's donut shop flickered on.
Do you just hear the squeak? You know the Fluttershy squeak sound behind, like in the background. Did you guys hear that? Or was I the only one? I don't know. I don't know what chapter we're on right now. We're probably not on chapters. I'm just probably being stupid right now. Again, I'm sorry. Well, let's continue.
It was hopeless. The streets of Canterlot were almost completely barren of life, and those few ponies who had been outside had been in a hurry to get indoors. Homes and shops alike were closed up as the citizens prepared for the last night before Hearthwarming Day. Rose exhaled softly. She had travelled all this way, had even managed to enter the city where her kind had been utterly defeated, and it was all for nothing. Her legs were too weak to carry her to another village or settlement, her eyes too weary to stay open for much longer. She was certain that her disguise would fail at any moment, and she would be discovered, and there would be no mercy for her kind from the ponies. Cold, scared, and exhausted, she slowly resigned herself to her fate and searched for a quiet place to die.
Fuck.
Ah, come on. Can't you stay a little longer?
Some pony asked. The bearded stallion shook his head.
Sorry, you guys, but I've got to head out. Got some last-minute preparations to deal with for tomorrow. I held it off as long as I could, but
He made a mock salute.
duty calls.
Hey, you gonna be alright getting home?
Pony Joe called out from behind the counter.
How many of you had?
The stallion waved him off.
I'll be all right. I can handle my chocolate a lot better than Thirsty can.
Oh, every pony can handle chocolate better than Thirsty can.
Another patron exclaimed. The shop erupted in laughter again. Smiling, the bearded pony opened the door a crack and squinted as the wind blew some of the snow inside.
Happy holidays, you guys. I'll see you all in a few days.
He opened the door wide and made to exit, but then hesitated and peered out into the street for a moment.
Hey, maybe he did drink too many.
Some pony said.
We're indoors for a reason. Shut the door, you ninny.
Sorry.
The stallion said.
Just thought I saw some kid all alone out there. Can you believe that? In this weather?
He shook his head and took another peek outside.
Huh. Whatever it was, it's gone now. Must have been my imagination. Snow's playing tricks on me.
With that, he opened the door again, bid one last farewell, and disappeared into the night. Rose had collapsed next to a cardboard box and wrapped her tail around herself for warmth. But it did little to hold back the cold bite of the frosty air. A small blanket of snow had settled onto her mane and coat, but she was too weak to shake it off. Her breaths came in short, ragged bursts, and it was difficult to keep her eyes open. Just a few minutes earlier, she had heard the sounds of laughter and watched as a group of ponies left the building she was lying next to from her spot in the alley beside it. They had been maybe 10 yards away, but she couldn't muster up the strength to go to them, much less stay focused enough to try and derive any kindness from them. Now they were all gone, and here she was lying in a cold, wet, empty alley, waiting to die. She closed her eyes and waited for the inevitable. She never even heard the shop's side door open, or the sharp intake of breath when some pony noticed her lying in the snow. Her eyes opened a fraction to reveal a rather plain-looking earth pony wearing a white hat and an apron. Some kind of baker, perhaps? His eyes were wide as he moved to untie his apron and wrap it around her. He was saying something, but she couldn't hear it. It was too late. Her energy utterly spent, she lost her grip on her disguise.
Oh, shit.
Pony Joe let go of the apron strings and stared open-mouthed as the little white Pegasus filly who had been lying before him transformed into a pink-maned changeling. His face grew red with anger.
Wait a second. Changelings don't usually have manes. Yet she has a pink mane. Pink and white, technically. I think that's what they said. I think that's what they said, that she had like a pink and white mane. Normally, changelings don't have manes. So meaning she's half pony, half changeling. So what does that technically mean exactly? I mean, she's half pony, half changeling. What does that mean exactly? Does that mean she's like a hybrid or something? A cross between a changeling and a pony? Either Pegasi or pony, I don't know which one. I'm gonna guess a Pegasi, and I'm gonna leave it at that. That's just my guess. Don't comment me on that. Just a guess. Let's continue.
He remembered all too well the day that Canterlot had nearly been conquered, and the very thought of changelings had disgusted him ever since. He glared down at the creature before him. Rose made no effort to move. She couldn't have, even if she wanted to. She just continued to lie on her back, staring up at the furious pony above her. Her chest rose slightly with every raspy breath she drew. Snowflakes fell onto her face and melted, mingling with a single tear that ran down her cheek. Maybe that's only just like a dream, she thought. Maybe I can dream home. A place to call my own. A home like one day. Sweet dreams. She closed her eyes then, at peace with her fate. Suddenly, she heard a clinking noise as something heavy landed beside her, followed by warmth as something was tucked around her body. Rose opened her eyes to see the earth pony walking away. He stopped at the end of the alley and looked back over his shoulder.
Happy holidays, kid. Now don't let me catch you outside again.
He turned around and walked away without looking back again. Looking down, she saw that the pony had wrapped his apron around her. Next to her was a cloth bag, which she opened to reveal the day's entire earnings for Pony Joe's Donut Shop. It wasn't a permanent solution. Her journey wasn't finished, and there was still every possibility she would fail. But as the warm energy gained from love and kindness began to fill her body, little Rose Aphid stared after her saviour with wonder. He had given her another chance, and that was more than she could have hoped for. It was a memory she would cherish until the end of her days, for she vowed she would never consume it, no matter the circumstances. She whispered.
God. Okay, that's the ending credits. Oh my god. There's nothing really to say about it. I mean, it started out really, really sad, and then, like, it was heart-wrenching, you know, her accepting her own fate. But then, like, that pony was at least nice enough to give her something, give her his apron in savings? That guy has to have the biggest heart I have ever seen. So honestly, I mean that was just, it was heart-wrenching for me. But then it just like, and the solution came, and I was like, oh my god. I mean that's just beautiful. That's just beautiful. That's true. That is true friendship right there. That's true friendship. That's true. I'm sorry. I'm rambling on right now. Alright, that's that's just what I'm thinking. It's just like that, it was heart-wrenching, and then it just came into a savior of like kindness. You know? I mean, it's something, you know? I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna quit rambling on, quit wasting your guys' time. I'm sure you have many other important stuff to do. So, as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Dragon Ball Baroni, signing off.